where we all can share the challenges which we are facing in our companies, then how we are handling them. So, as the today's topic, it's the agile, the way forward. Definitely, it has the great potential, and look forward to discuss with you all the panels and definitely all the audience.
Umair has joined us. So, Umair, would you like to introduce yourself? I did give a brief introduction about your role in Agile PK and on the advisory board. Is there something else that you would like to add? Oh, Umair, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you, Maryam, for inviting me here. My name is Umair Khalid, and I'm working as VP Collaborations in Agile PK, Pakistan Agile Development Society. Previously, I was heading the Karachi chapter of Pakistan Agile Development Society. I was founding president, and I'm also the national board member. So this is about Agile PK, and professionally, I am working as head of DevOps in TPS. So this is my brief introduction.
So let's just jump into the topic that we have today. It's like Agile and moving forward with Agile, and where do we see ourselves in the future? So I'd like to ask both of your opinions. Like, what do you see Agile as? Like, I'd start with Naveed. Like, if I had to ask you, what would you define agility as? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, actually, if you ask me personally, it means quite a lot to me because I have seen Agile from different angles, different perspectives. Like I have seen Agile as a practitioner. I've seen companies evolving from the traditional frameworks to Agile frameworks. I have worked as an Agile coach and consultant. So I have seen companies growing through Agile. So it's not about just reading and going through the literature. It's about experiencing, and seeing is believing. So while I have seen companies growing and taking on their challenges of digital transformation, because we are discussing in the light of digital transformation today. So I've seen companies taking the digital transformation route through Agile. So it means quite a lot to me, and I think it is quite relevant, and not only relevant, it is quite important and mandatory element of any digital transformation, whether we talk in the context of any industry, any organization, or even in the larger context for the national digital transformation. So Agile is quite important, being the catalyst for any digital transformation or the continuous innovation that we talk about.
That's good to know. And Naveed, would you like to add your viewpoint on this?
Yeah, I would like to add a little bit different aspect that Agile is not only about the projects, the products, the IT company or non-IT company. Agility starts from the mindset. Mindset, which is the transformation from fixed to growth, or the mindset who is responding to change. Either it's our daily life, either it's our friends, family, or whatever the situation we face on daily basis. If our mind is responding to change, then agility is the top priority of our lives. Yeah.
True. And like, if I add my own perspective, because like I've been in the industry and now I'm an academic, like even day in, day out, we're teaching students to be like agile, just not in the development perspective, but in managing their tasks and like executing their daily activities as well. We want them to have that agile mindset, not just linked towards, that sprint or that scrum cycles. So like, as Umair mentioned earlier, like, this is all about digital transformation. So where do you see Agile playing a role in this transformation in Pakistan or internationally or globally?
Yeah, I think I have seen a lot of debate on digital transformation in Pakistan these days, as it has been in globally. But a lot of discussion has been around motivating companies about the digital transformation. I think the motivation is already there. If you talk to any CEO, even any government representative, he or she talks about digital transformation a lot, and everyone wants digital transformation. So where the challenge comes in exactly is not the motivation or convincing them. It's about the execution of that digital transformation. Where the companies or the industries actually are failing is to manage that dynamic environment, that virtual or that uncertain environment that we live in, where the technologies change rapidly, where the competitors change rapidly, market dynamics change rapidly. So that change management actually creates that problem, and that is where exactly the agile comes into play. So if you plan something with predictive planning and with the mindset that welcomes the change, that changes the game altogether. That is a different ball game. Then you are in very then you are in much better position to manage that change and to execute the digital transformation if you are in the agile mindset. That is why we focus more in the agile mindset, and agile being a trait of the company agile rather than
Following certain
introducing
processes.
agile
Yeah.
as a framework
Yeah.
or any methodology directly. So if you start with agile mindset and the agile business agility, then you move on to the agile frameworks and then methods and practices. That takes you in a much better position to execute the digital transformation.
Okay. Naveed, what are your viewpoints?
Yeah, I would like to add two different aspects that
Okay.
already Umair has explained the higher end. So I would like to focus that the companies need to focus on the agile environment and the agile resources, because like we have the roles in agile, and definitely there are few more roles who are indirectly working in agile environment, like agile coaches, and the company management is the main key role. But my point is that we as the company C-level executives need to support the resources to make the environment in very ease for the employees, so they can perform. Definitely, if they are performing well, the companies are going in profit and our country is uh, growing. So we need to focus on two main things: the resources and the environment. If environment is very good, people don't want to leave the company, then definitely it's a great achievement for that company. And I know a few of the companies in Pakistan, I have seen many resources working more than a decade or maybe 2 decades. Uh, the other competitors tried to bring that resources, but they said sorry. So it means that company have achieved a very good growth, a very good culture, a very good teams. Yeah,
Like Naveed, if I ask you, like you say, we have to invest in the resources,
yeah.
but like if we go back to like the digital transformation and we go back to linking the growth of the resources with digital transformation, how would you say that they go in sync?
Oh well, it's like the resources are the main key players to do this
Yeah.
digital transformation. They are participating directly or indirectly, but definitely it syncs in like that. If a company is a digital transformation and their staff is not up to mark, then definitely that digital transformation will be flopped. Either it's
Yeah.
within the company or they are service providing on digital transformation to other companies. Definitely, their customers will not be repeated customers.
So, like, all three of us belong from Agile PK. You being the founder of Agile PK, and I being the current chair of the society, and Umair being, the ex-president of the Karachi chapter. How do you think, like, we as a society have facilitated the society, like the Pakistani society, have facilitated the government, have facilitated the growth of Agile in Pakistan since, its beginning?
Oh, well, being a society, what we were doing and we are doing and we have plans. We were doing some sort of awareness of the early years of, and at this stage now, the companies are, you can say that at a medium level.
Okay.
Definitely, there are companies who are at awareness level, but definitely there are companies who are at around 70 to 80% following agile. There are companies who are following 40 to 50% agile. There are companies who are following agile, but they don't know about the agile norms. So they are doing that sort of activities indirectly. Okay. So what society is doing, society is providing some sort of consultancy, some sort of coaching to the companies who have challenges. Uh, Last no, 2 weeks back, we were in Anglo Karachi, so we have given them a 1 day training that how they can achieve agility within their development teams. So the society has plans that now we will be moving towards not only the awareness but focusing on the challenges, focusing on the cultural issues, focusing on the team building issues. Like in if we talk about the Scrum values, there are 5 values, but somehow in our people, uh, I'm sorry to say, but there are very less teams which has the 5 values. So we are planning to develop a program for developing those values. So this sort of things which will definitely add,
Eventually, yeah.
yeah, so add the values to the resources, to the companies, and definitely then that will be reflected to their clients.
Umair, we had our annual conference this time in Karachi. It was a huge success. We had so many, people who showed up despite it being COVID, and, we had excellent speakers. As a president, what role do you think that, you played in Karachi for the Karachi community? And as VP collaborations, where do you see yourself, this society contributing to the growth of Agile?
Okay. So basically, if we look at the background, we started it from the two-dimensional goal that was awareness and the adoption. Because in early 2000s, we saw that the companies who were trying to adopt Agile, they had different understandings about the Agile, because there were no as such Agile coaches or Agile practitioners or Agile trainers in Pakistan. So that was one problem, that every company, every industry had its own understanding of Agile. And secondly, when some of the trainers came up and tried to explain Agile, then there were some question marks on the relevance of Agile and the applicability of Agile in Pakistan. Like Naveed told about some of the values, like the culture of openness, the self-organization. There were question marks that whether they fit in Pakistani culture or not. Is it something that is being developed, that has been developed in Silicon Valley and not very much applicable in the culture of Pakistan? So there were doubts about Agile, and that was creating hindrance in its adoption. So it is still a challenge, and we are trying to cater that challenge through building a community, through sharing experiences, how each of the companies have overcome those challenges. So when they share their experience as a community, it helps the companies to take lessons from each other and execute Agile in a better way. So that is what we are trying to develop as a society, is to build a community where the people share their experiences and motivate, not only motivate each other, but also inspire each other to adopt those values and that mindset of Agile. Apart from that, if we talk about take a look at it from the futuristic point of view, I think we have realized that we need to build the capabilities of the organization through skills development and through trainings program to execute Agile in a better way. Because convincing is obviously the first step, and then building their capability for Agile adoption is a different thing. So now we are taking one step further and enabling the companies to adopt Agile in a better way through technical excellence as well as from the cultural point of view.
But if I ask, I think we had the conference in February. So from Feb till now, what do you think, changed after the conference? How was the impact of the conference to the society and the community as a whole? And, how does it support the digital transformation, and how does it support the digital growth in Karachi and the chapter's growth in Karachi? How do you feel? I know you're not the president anymore, but obviously you're still part of the community. So how do you feel the community has grown having that exposure? Because, we always had the conference in Islamabad, we have been leading it since 2014. But this was the first time, we gave Karachi a chance, and it was an excellent turnout. So how do you feel the society grew after that experience?
Yeah, I think it's a long journey, and that was basically a flagship event of Karachi chapter, and that helped us to to identify ourselves, to build our recognition in Karachi. And many companies have approached us how we can help them to build their skills, to certify their people. And a lot of universities have approached us, and I'm already teaching in Karachi University. Now we are moving towards building those capabilities within the students, so that when they graduate and the next lot comes up, they have much better understanding of the Agile. And that's what we were trying to do for so many years. But there were some resistances. There were some of the concerns that we were uh, feeling that it is difficult to address. But through that conference, it became quite easy that we were able to convince them to introduce those courses that can help actually the students. And from the corporate point of view, I think many companies have approached us, and they have also asked for the trainings, and we have already arranged a couple of trainings in the organizations as well. So the conference has built that environment where the companies are actually approaching and us, instead of we trying to engage the companies ourselves.
Like, Naveed talked about, and you talked about, like, and me as a chair, we have, like, we set down that this is our goal for these next 2 years that we want to achieve. And like you mentioned, like, you're collaborating with universities. I represent universities, and the goal of, these 2 years was heavily to collaborate with universities, so that, we have the resource, the ground level resources prepared with the basic skills of Agile, so that, when companies hire them, they don't have to train them again and again with the basic concepts of what Agile is. But obviously, agility comes with a mindset, and it's developed over time. It's developed over experience. It depends upon the type of project that you're doing. It depends upon, your clients. So if we go towards, we talked about the future, and like, we said we'll discuss about the future. But where do you see, and this question goes to Naveed, like, you have been with the society since 2014. Where do you see us, in the next 5 years or the next 10 years? What do you think should be like our target that we should achieve as a society, as a national level society that is, providing trainings to all the local companies and collaborating with international companies for conferences and all? Where do you see, like, I know conference was our goal, like, doing an annual conference was one of our goals. Then now we have a regional conference as well. We're collaborating with India, and, with Misab, he's brought in a lot of partners. So where do you see ourselves, in the next 5 years or the next 10 years as a society? And how do you think, we should grow and enroll more people in order to grow our society? And should we recruit people? What's the vision? In the simple words, like the vision for the, next 10 years, where do you see us?
Okay, I think Umair was interested to say something. Okay. Yes, that's right. That the Agile Conference Pakistan, which is happening every year due to COVID 2020, we didn't that. Yes, that's basically to interact with the local people who are interested to learn Agile, and who are at certain level they are doing Agile. So that event is focused for that. Yes, that's true that we have Agile Regional Marathon, which is for regional countries. Like last year we have from Sri Lanka and India. This time, as per today's update, we have few more speakers from Nepal and Bangladesh too. Okay,
Nice.
which is good.
Very
Okay.
nice, very nice.
So if we talk about the next 5 year and 10 years, what I'm expecting that now the society's movement should be towards the job placements, which we somehow we didn't focus on that, but now society should have. It's my thought. Maybe the current executive team have some plans already in their mind. Maybe they have some plans for, let's say, for after 2 years they will be focusing on this. But my point is that we should have some sort of a resource pool. And if a company contact us that, okay, we need a, let's say, agile mindset person having 10 years of experience of this specific domain, so we just filter that resource. Definitely that resource will have some experience. That resource got some trainings regarding their professionalism or their specific skills which he want to grow. So based on that, the society will be a resource facilitator or resource provider for that specific domain, for that specific skill. This will help our companies to grow in a rapid way, because right now what I feel or what I see, that a companies contact recruiters and then get some sort of CVs. Out of them they select two people, and after 6 months they came to know that the one person is good and the other person is not so far good in their culture. Okay, that's fine. So that all 6 months and before that the recruiting cycle, that all is a waste, right? So maybe the society can fill up that gap to fulfill the resources pool to the companies who are very good in adaptation of agility. This could be one thing. This could be one thing.
Umair, what would you like to add?
Yeah, definitely. As Naveed pointed out, that we'll be expanding our awareness sessions and the conferences, the regional marathons. Obviously, that will magnify, that will expand. Apart from that, being part of the think tank that we internally call as a group of servant leaders, I'm part of that. Being a VP collaborations, we have planned collaborations at multiple levels, like how we can collaborate with government organizations, how we can collaborate with different other societies and communities, how we can collaborate with industries, like with other companies, how we can make them corporate members, how we can entertain individual professionals, and how we can engage the academic institutions and the students from Agile. Because so we are working on it, on the collaboration thing from different perspectives and at different levels. That is one part. And since we since we promote continuous learning, we as a society has learned something very important. The technical excellence is something that is very important apart from the agile mindset. Even if you have the agile mindset, you have the culture, but you don't have the technical competence, you don't have the technical excellence. That also hurts a lot when you go for the agile adoption, and that basically raises question marks that whether the decision to adopt agile was correct or not. So the technical excellence has to be there, and there has been a challenge in the industry regarding the skills development, and that skill set at the engineering level, basically that is helpful in the adoption of the frameworks like Scrum, or that are more self-organizing. So they call for more technical skills. And if we see the technical skills are now evolving, the agile itself has evolved. There are some emerging technologies like CI/CD, automation, DevOps. We are also moving towards that. If you see our latest programs, you will see the touch of or building those skills that are related to automation, CI/CD, and DevOps, because we know that is the future. Agile is not here to stay as it is. Agile will itself evolve as a concept, as a methodology, or even the frameworks will evolve with the change in technology and the environment. So we have to catch up with that pace, and we have to continuously evolve ourselves to not to be to avoid the obsolescence. So we are working on that thing, that we don't lag behind and we catch up with the pace of the emerging technologies like DevOps, CI/CD, and automation also. So I think that is to complement what Naveed mentioned about the expansion of Agile awareness programs and the job placements that he talked about.
Yeah, like adding on to my PhD was also on distributed agile. It was on the evolution of agile. It was on how agile, is supposed to work in a distributed environment, because when agile was formed in 2001, it was having same rooms, having a scrum room, all the team is sitting in one room, and that was the main manifesto, when the agile manifesto was born. But we have seen over a decade that offshoring has become a huge thing, and agile practices need to evolve with all these offshoring techniques. And now we have a newer challenge, because first the challenge was customizing agile practices for the offshore setting. Like the clients are somewhere else, you're somewhere else, your team is distributed. But now we are in COVID for the past 2 years. And I was also doing a research, like, the Agile Society helped me out as well in that, was that, how do you think Agile helped, or how did Agile evolve in COVID, in your organization, in your practice? How do you see that, being a developer or being, in a development company or being in a development role or working in a development team? How do you think, did Agile help you in overcoming those challenges that COVID introduced? Or did you have to customize Agile in a way that it aided you? Or was it not of any help? Like, well, what is your experience if you had to compare the role of Agile with COVID in your organization?
So that question is from me or from Naveed?
You can continue and then we can go on with Naveed.
So yeah, I think the COVID thing has been a blessing in disguise, I would say, for the Agile adoption, because the people who were resisting Agile adoption and the Agile culture, they basically had to adopt Agile deliberately or indeliberately, half-heartedly, because when we all went to working virtually, Agile was the only answer. There was no option for micromanagement. There was no option to be monitoring to monitor the employees from from their screens or from their activities. So the Agile was the only way out, and that basically helped in the last 2 years for Agile adoption. That is what I have observed. So many of the micromanagers and those who had the traditional mindset, they have also moved to more Agile mindset in the last 2 years after post-COVID. So I think that has been helpful, I would say. So I would also like to get the opinion of Naveed and yours, but that has been my personal observation.
Naveed, over to you.
Okay, so yeah, in fact, I has raised my hand for the last question also. So first, I would like to answer that.
See.
Yeah, no problem.
Sorry.
Okay, so one thing I missed from the visionary thing, that for the last, I think, 6 to 8 months, we have been partnering with PASHA, the Pakistan Association of Software Houses and Service Industry, and we have been organizing the master class for awareness, and now we have successfully converted our that MOU to a training partner company or a platform, whatever we can say. So they have asked us to, whatever the training we have in our roadmap, we need to share that so they can circulate in their companies, and then definitely if the companies require need to do that training, then definitely they will be contacting us. So it's, I think, a good start. Because now the companies who are registered with, as a member registered with PASHA, they are also moving towards agility. Okay, the second thing is that the Agile in a COVID era, well, I will say yes, it's a huge success, because the managers or the people who are having somehow a fixed mindset and not interested to listen the word Agile, they definitely, or forcefully, or whatever we can say, they need to shift to their mindset to Agile mindset. The people who are fixed to the fixed time meetings, like we have stakeholders meeting at 11 a.m. and we need to visit their venue, or the client need to be in our office. But due to COVID, the meetings were online, and not it's only 11 a.m. It could be anytime. And it's some sort of the Agile, the main 4 manifesto points already transformed into this COVID lockdown. Yeah. So it helps a lot. And right now, what I came to know yesterday, I was in discussion that in USA and UK, a lot of companies are looking for remote resources, and especially from Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, just because their fixed mindsets moved to growth mindset, and they came to know that okay, sitting a person in an office is not only the success case. If we hire a person who is sync with our time zone, that is also workable. So a lot of people in my circle are doing remote jobs, in UK times, US time, which is a good success for our country. And if we see a few of the portals like Gapper.io, Turing, Crossover, these are also focusing on that thing. So I think agility has played a very vital role in this COVID lockdown and in future of this sort of the workforce.
So like if, I did a survey a few months back, and like the Agile Society took part in that. Like the purpose was that to see, how were people reacting to COVID, and how did they think like, Agile contributed. And likewise, what Umair said and what you said, everyone had a very positive response towards Agile. Like they said, like Agile was that skill set that they needed to have in order to like continue working the way they were working without, facing that disconnect or like, that blockage that every other company was facing when it came to COVID, because, they were already in sync. They already had stand-up meetings, they already had tools set up, like they already had central repositories in place. So, I think with in sync with you and with in sync with Umair, like it's the same thing that that Agile helped in COVID, and that was like the natural thing. Now, if we like, we've talked a lot about Agile, and we talked a lot about, what our goal is, what our mission is, and we talked about COVID, the main highlight of today. If you go back to digital transformation, what do you think are the challenges still? Like, because like, the word is digital transformation, that means we're still in transition. So what do you think are the main challenges that we still have that we have to answer, despite having all the technology that we have, despite having all the skilled resources we have? What are challenges that you think that we still face in today? And Naveed, you can go ahead and continue.
Okay. Oh, well, the major challenge is still there. That is the resource development or resource skills, because all the digital transformation is focused on that challenges on the skill set. If a resource is skilled, then definitely it will be syncing with the company growth or country growth. If that resource is not that up to mark, have that skill, then definitely it's a big challenge for that company, and definitely it will be reflected to the company. That is the major one, and somehow I have felt that the people for last 5 years are moreover focusing on the multiple things, but not focusing on one thing. Like they are not mastering of one thing; they are having jack of all the things. So I have been interviewed for last 6 months in my company. uh, People has all the things in his CV or her CV, but when we dig into one specific skill set, then somehow it didn't get good success case. So uh, resources should be focused on the skill set. Companies need to provide them or give them the opportunity to learn and detailing in that specific thing. That could be the one of the biggest challenge, which definitely we need to handle at this stage, and it will be reflected within 5 years, not from tomorrow. That could be one challenge.
Umair, would you like to add from a more
Yeah,
technical perspective?
yeah. I think I would just like to complement what Naveed said. We need to work on the resource development and the skills development, and we have been working on that. Like I already mentioned, we're working with the universities to introduce courses related to Agile. Apart from that, there are a few certifications, a few recognized, internationally recognized certifications for which we have to go outside Pakistan and pass those certifications, and that becomes quite expensive and unaffordable for the individuals at times, and that basically produces the resource gap and the workforce gap related to Agile, because the demand of the industry is much larger than what industry is producing. So we need to work on skills development at multiple levels. We are working on the plans to see how we can take it, how we can make it local, and we can introduce some Pakistan specific certifications. Secondly, there are certain methodologies and frameworks and agile practices that make more sense in the developed world than in Pakistan. So I think we need to work on the unique challenges of Pakistan, and we also need to introduce few success stories of Pakistan. Like if we are uh, if we are studying the case study of Toyota or some Silicon Valley startup, we are not able to relate that much if we talk in the context of any Pakistani company that has implemented Agile in a better way. So we can relate in a much better way. So we need to work on more on the Pakistan specific challenges, success stories, and the flavor of Agile that fits in Pakistani culture in a better way. So that is, I think, one direction that we need to take on. And lastly, I would talk about the challenge of Agile practitioners themselves, like, and the Agile coaches themselves. They basically tend to focus more on the Agile tools and practices than developing the Agile mindset and culture within the organization. And that also creates some problems within the organization because, for instance, if an Agile coach moves from one company to another, he tries to bring those tools and practices that he has moved that he has used in company A to company B. If he has worked on Jira, he will
continue that.
implore or convince the other company to move from TFS to Jira. This basically creates some problems. Instead of focusing on Agile mindset and the concepts, we tend to focus more on the tools and practices. So we need to shift from that as well.
Umair, like you've used the word Agile mindset like throughout the conversation. Like, what Agile mindset would you recommend for digital transformation?
I think for digital transformation, if we talk about some of the key concepts, they need to be more work more in collaboration with their ecosystem, and and most importantly, they need to have the change mindset. Like Naveed said, growth mind. They should have the growth mindset. They need to start with that mindset that we are planning something, but it will be an adaptive planning. So we will adapt with the changes and we will welcome changes. Once we start with that mindset that we will welcome changes, that will, I think, change the whole scenario.
Naveed, would you like to add something to this?
Yeah, again, I have something to say for the last point that Umair said that the major challenges for from the agile coaches perspective, that if they shifted to some other company and they first focus to change the tool. Well, I would like to share just one line, my experience that there is a company who are not interested to select any paid tool. So I guided them, and they have successfully executed 4 or 5 sprints on Google Sheets, right? So once they
I thought you
have
were gonna say Trello.
yeah, no, so once they get the confidence, then they shifted to Trello, definitely, and then they took the paid version of Trello or Jira. Then after that, I have left. So there are companies which we need to less focus on the tools. I agree with Umair. The second thing which we were discussing, that is the continuous learning. Either I am the CEO, I am the CFO, I'm the CMO, or I'm the CTO, or I'm the developer, or I'm whatever sort of I am the person. I should focus on continuous learning. That's the second thing. Somehow it's in less our blood, but we need to focus on that. That will be the key to the digital transformation or agile or growth mindset.
Just to wrap it up, CxO gave us this opportunity. Would you like to, say a few words for them?
Yeah, I would like to say special thanks to Mr. Kamal Mansoor and Masroor, sorry, and Zishan Haq from our team. They both had given us this opportunity, and it's really great to share our value here. And I hope this session will be grateful for the audience, and look forward to continuous this sort of efforts. So thank you very much, Kamal sir. Thumbs up.
Umair?
Yeah, I think I would like to extend my gratitude to Kamal Saab and Zishan Haq, and they're doing a marvelous work, I think, and it's really an exciting and proud moment for me to share stage with some of the giants of the industry, like those who are the part of CxO Global Forum. So they should continue their work. And thanks to Dr. Maryam and Naveed also for coming on this short notice, because we have pulled them at the last moment. So thanks to all of you, and it's been a great experience. Thank you.
Yes, I would like to thank both of you for this session, and that's it from my side.